Yo, what is up, brothers and sisters? Welcome to This Week in the Wave. For this week is February the 14th, 2020. That is a day for lovers, but I believe every day is a day for lovers. That's what's up. How you doing? It's a beautiful day to be alive here at the peak of recorded human history. I am Akira the Don, certified Wavelord, recording here in Don Studios in downtown Los Angeles. It's another beautiful day. Yes, it is. How are you? How are you? I hope you're good. I believe you deserve it. Hey, we just dropped a new single. Bap, bap, bap. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. You could leave life right now. You could leave life right now. That's what it sounds like. It's pretty great. It's me and the late, great, eternal Wavelord, Roman Emperor, best 2,000-year-old Twitter account of all time, Marcus Aurelius. And it's out now. Yes, it is. It's the second single from Meditations Volume 1, the album, which I am happy to report I have finished recording. I finished recording that, and now I'm mixing it, which is very exciting. And that's coming out on the 28th of February. You can pre-order that now on Bandcamp if you want to own it. If you want to own a digital copy of it, you can own that digital copy. And if you pre-order it from Bandcamp today, you can get that new song. You could leave life right now. You can get that. You can get that right now. You can get that song right now from that album right now. Put it on your telephone right now. Listen to it at your mum's house right now. Yes, you can. So that's very, very hype. That's very, very exciting. You can see the artwork. The artwork's dope. It's my beautiful face with the beautiful cracked mask face of my guy Marcus on top. We're in blackness. We're in dark blackness. It's very cool. So yeah, check that out. I would especially like, by the way, to shout out people who are listening to this who thought I was dead. I had a bunch of messages last week from people who were subscribed to the podcast feed, which had not had a podcast on it for a while. And they thought I was dead. I guess they weren't on Twitter or they weren't on YouTube or whatever. And they thought I was dead. I'm not dead. I am not dead. Yeah. I am not dead. Yeah. Good news. And that was very cool. I had a whole bunch of people and they were like, oh my goodness, I didn't think you were doing music anymore. And wow, look at all this stuff you've been doing. Yes, we've been doing a lot. I think it was 16 albums last year. I was talking to my new distributor this morning. A distributor is the people who take your music and put it into all the stores. I got a new one. And we're having to move our entire catalog from one distributor to another, which is quite a process. And they were like, how many records do you have to move? And I was like, I don't know, 40 or something. That was a rough estimate. It's actually more than that. It's more than that. I mean, this year, brothers and sisters, we've already had 2 albums and 3 singles, I think. It's going pretty good. Pretty good. And we're about to hit 2 years. 2 years of my experiment in zone inhabitation and hyperproductivity. We're about to hit 2 years. I think that we're hitting 2 years either next week or the week after. I've got to check the calendar. I will be doing a full dissection of that. We're gonna go into that. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna look at the process. We're gonna talk about what worked, what didn't work, what changes we made, how it's going, all that type of thing. It's a very interesting experiment, I got to say. And it's going great. Here's one thing that just happened. When we started the experiment, we had 4,000 subs on YouTube. We just crossed 50,000. 50,000. We just hit 50,000. Like, if you got all those people together in a room, it'd have to be a big room. Otherwise, they would die of suffocation. That would suck. So we're not going to do that. I want to get everyone together in a room. Going to make sure it's a big enough room. All right. It's going to be a nice room. Maybe not even a room. Maybe it would be like a pleasant valley, with horses and fauna, maybe some centaurs, some butterflies, some really epic colored butterflies flipperdoodling around the place, some kind of nice situation like that. That's what I want to do. I'd love to get you all together in a beautiful valley, with a big epic waterfall, splish, splash, splosh, big epic waterfall to bathe in under, you know, a beautiful sky, a beautiful kind of like turquoise shimmering beautiful sky. You know that thing where the air sometimes glitters? We want to have that going on, you know? Really good sound. Obviously got to have really good sound. You know, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it. People keep writing to me. They're like, Akira the Don, are you ever going to take Meaning Wave music outside? You know, can we see you play Meaning Wave music? And yeah, is the answer. Definitely yeah. The day soon approacheth. It's basically a case of there being enough people that want it to make it entirely feasible to do without an agent or any of that. We don't have anything like that. You know what I mean? Meaning Wave's marketing strategy is make really good music and put it out. That's it. That's our marketing strategy. And it's working very well. It's working great. Because what happens is we make some music, we put it out, you guys like listen to it and you enjoy it and you share it with your friends. And then we put out more music. And every time that happens, the wave grows. The wave grows. And the wave has been growing now for 2 years. And yeah, you know, like I said, we just hit 50K on YouTube. We're about 120,000 listeners a month on Spotify. You know, that's so it's getting close to the point where we'll be able to say, okay, now we're going to go and play some shows in your town, and there'll be enough of you that will come to the shows, and it'll be a wave, it'll be a vibe, it'll be beautiful. All right. So yeah, for everyone, it keeps people write to me about this pretty much every day right now, and the way we make the Meaning Wave live experience happen is that enough people want it, and the way that enough people want it is you sharing it with people, and that's it. That's it, man. That's science. That's science. You know, and yeah. So that's what's up. We had that new single dropped this week, which literally dropped a couple of hours ago on all streaming platforms. What else did we put out this week? Literally in the past week, this time last week, we put out the Mythological Beats, the Joseph Campbell instrumentals. That's out. You can listen to that. People have been really enjoying that. People were writing to me about that. People have been making their own, which was kind of an unintended consequence. I was like, the cool thing about the instrumentals is you can use them to make your own kind of like wave experience. You can just put your favorite talk or podcast on at the same time, you know, and people have been doing that. One of my excellent patrons did one, and he actually like recorded a whole thing and made a video and uploaded it. It was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'll drop the link of that when it's out properly. Is what it is like some people don't like that sort of thing. Some people get precious about like what happens with their instrumentals or whatever. I always like, there's a thing in dancehall culture where someone puts out a rhythm, instrumental, and then a whole bunch of people put something on top of it. A whole bunch of people vocal it, you know? So you get a whole bunch of songs with the same instrumental. It happened like to a lesser degree in rap in like in the mid 2000s to the early 10s when like Dat Piff mixtape culture was really popping, and like every time someone put a track out, all the rappers would record their own version of it. It happens less now. And the reason it happens less now is because everyone's just putting their stuff straight onto Spotify because that you get paid off of that. But you can't be putting other people's music up on Spotify. Well, some people do, but like there's a chance that you're getting sued. So less people do that. So basically it just happens less now. But that's an interesting cultural thing that I've always been a fan of. It's always cool hearing different things on music, right? So yeah, that's been an interesting experience hearing like different stuff on top of the music. It's interesting, you know. So yeah, that happened. What else happened this week? We got what else did we put out this week? We put out the Don Studios Sessions 8 live session number 8. That was cool. That was a Meaning Wave mix that I did live, and it had Joe Rogan and David Foster Wallace and Jordan Peterson and David Goggins and Alan Watts and Comic Book Girl 19 and Charles Bukowski and Jocko Willink in it. And it's very cool. You can listen to that. That's a nice thing. Shout out to Comic Book Girl 19. She shaved her head. Comic Book Girl 19 went full-blown Britney Spears in the noughts and shaved her head. She's now bald. She looks powerful. And that's dope. She's she's a big Dune authority. She's an authority on Dune. She says Dune, not Dune, because she's American. That's what they do. So I guess she's getting ready for the year of Dune, because the Dune movie is coming. Dune sounds so funny when I say Dune. The Dune movie is coming out this year. And it looks like it might not suck. It looks like it might be really good. I don't want to get excited about a movie. I've been burnt before. Before Prometheus came out, Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Alien. I think I first saw it when I was 7 or something ridiculous. It haunted me. I just loved the whole world. It was a combination of what Ridley Scott did and what Giger had done. And what Giger did with those designs. And what Giger did with those designs, he tapped into something really primeval. Is that the right word? Really fundamental. Something really deep in the human psyche. Really deep down. You know, something really archetypal. I never know. Is it archetypical or archetypal? I've got to check that out. Just make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. In the same way that Star Wars really speaks to the human spirit on a mythological level, Alien did too. Now, it was the shadow aspect. It was a dark aspect. It spoke a lot to some of our sort of darker aspects. It was so good, though. It was so good. Oh my goodness. And then, you know, I don't really like any of the sequels. Aliens, it's kind of fun. But it basically just, like, reduced the danger. It made the creature less terrifying, and it just repeated the end. It did the same thing at the end as the first one. A lot of people love Aliens, and that's cool. But I love Alien. That's the one I love. And so when I heard that the creator of Alien, Ridley Scott, was doing another film, but it was a film about a grander story, a film about where we came from, that kind of ancient aliens mystery, that thing. I was excited, man. And I would be staying up till 5 a.m, just reading message boards where people were theorizing about what was going to happen and that type of thing. And there were leaked little bits of visuals, and I was excited. And when the day came, it was a different time, you know. It was 2012. Like now, when a film comes out, you already know if it sucks or not. You pretty much already know what's happened, because there's been so much kind of like leaking and people seeing it early and doing YouTube videos and tweets. It's kind of, you can't escape the vibe. You could not get spoiled, but the vibe will still hit you. It's like before, you know, this Birds of Prey came out, you knew it was like some kind of like anti-human, schlocky, cringy nonsense before it came out. You didn't even have to have watched a video. You knew, you know. But I didn't know about Prometheus. I didn't know what it was. I was just excited. I remember going with my wife. I took a photo outside. You know when you're so excited about an experience, you take like a photo. So I took a picture of me, like, you know, before I went in the door, with the same Prometheus in the lighting above the door, you know, and the writing that scrolls across. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't the same after that. I've not allowed myself to get excited about anything ever since. Holy cow. I mean, there was an example, Prometheus, of, it was very beautiful. It was very beautiful. It did look great. Oh, it was so stupid. Oh, it was such a missed opportunity. Oh, whoever wrote the script needs yeeting into the sun. Yeeting into the sun! I think that was Damon Lindelof. I don't know how you pronounce his name, Lindelof or something. He's part of that bad robot crew, bad reboot, as those funny chaps at Midnight Edge call him, because that is basically what it does, right? That is what they do, bad reboots. Bad robot makes bad reboots, that's it. It's almost like they knew, and that's why they called themselves that. But anyway, that script was bad. Oh, God. Honestly, I get upset thinking about it, because art is important. Stories are important. The world, that's what the world is made of. That's what we're made of. That's what everything is. Stories are the atoms of our existence, you know? Bad stories, man, that's like bad atoms. Imagine a bad atom, you know? Imagine the potentiality of a bad atom. That's what we have going on right now. We have so much in the way of bad stories, just messing up our landscape, our foundations. Like, that's what we live and breathe on, man. That's what we're built upon. And these bad stories, this cultural vandalism, they've done it to everything. All of our modern myths, they vandalize them. They tear them apart. They turn them into creepy propaganda. But as my boy JBP says, you know, great stories will last forever, and propaganda is forgotten within the generation, and that's just true. By the way, shout out to my boy JBP. Much love to the whole Peterson family. Like, nothing but love. So many, it's so beautiful. I have so many people, like, here's when you know that you've made a difference in people's lives. Like, people write to me and they're like, oh, did you see that there's been an update from the Petersons about Jordan's health and what's going on? And like, people just reaching out to each other, and everyone cares so much. Everyone cares so much, and everyone's praying. Even the atheists, man, they praying for Jordan Peterson and his family. And we all are, man, because like, they've done so much for us. Like, that whole family, you know, the whole family, all of them. It's not, no man is an island, you know, and people who do things in the world are very rarely on their own. And maybe you see the top of the island, but you know, there's all that island underneath the water that you don't see. That's like bigger than the bit that's poking out the water. You know, what was that Pixar? There was that lovely Pixar little animation about the two volcanoes, you know? You know that one? You got the volcano and he's singing, and the other volcano can hear him singing, but like, that volcano's underwater. And by the time the volcano under the water comes out of the water, that was so inspired by the singing of the volcano above the water, it's just as he's like falling below the water, and his volcano spark is about to go out. What a lovely thing that was. Anyway, that's beside the point, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, my wife, for example, you don't see her that much. You don't see her, but you wouldn't be hearing all this from me without her. Not in the way that is going on. I mean, I don't know what would be going on. I have no idea what would be going on, you know? Anyway, yeah, the Petersons, like, you know, we praying, everyone's praying, everyone, and like, I'm personally just of the belief that it's all going to be cool. Everything's going to be fine, and it's going to be this kind of like Phoenix story, that every great story goes like that. You have the rise, the fall, the rise, the fall, the rise, the fall. And in terms of stories, like, the story of Jordan Peterson has been such a ridiculously accurate telling of one of the mythical stories. And the tragedy and suffering is inevitable. It's inevitable. Yeah, like, you know, no light without a shadow, and the brighter the light, the darker the shadow, and so on and so forth. You know all this, we know all this, it's just true. But anyway, regardless, like, you know, Jordan Peterson, you take all the time in the world you need to come back and do the work that you know you need to do. And we're grateful. We're super, super grateful over here. We're incredibly grateful. We're incredibly indebted. Like, oh, holy stuff. The amount of work that guy did in such a short space of time on the global stage. Here's the thing. Good news this week. Birds of Prey is a movie. You probably haven't heard of it, because who gives a crap? But it's a movie. It's like a big multi-million dollar comic book tentpole type movie. Bomb. No one goes to see it. No one's gone to see it. Big failure. Very good news, because it's one of these movies that was marketed on this anti-human kind of like boys versus girls, men are evil, yay go, ladies who act like stereotyped cartoon versions of evil men. It's just this anti-human, nihilist, creepy, cringy garbage they've been foisting upon us. And what happened was, in 2016, lots of people's brains broke, and lots of really bad propaganda was commissioned. And it's been coming out over the past year, because it takes a long time to make these things. And it's been failing spectacularly. Spectacular fails. Oh my goodness. Terminator. They did this Terminator thing. I love Terminator. There's another one. I saw that when I was 7. My dad showed it me. He fast forwarded through the sex scene. So it didn't quite make sense, because the sex scene in Terminator is really important. The idea, you know, this robot goes back in time to kill the future leader of the Resistance. So the future leader of the Resistance sends a guy back to protect his mother, you know, so that he could be born. Beautiful story. You know, beautiful story. And you see this woman, you know, she just really, you know, she wants to protect her child against this incredibly powerful, dangerous thing. And she becomes, you know, she rises to the challenge. She protects her son. She becomes like as powerful a woman in every aspect that she can to protect her son. It's a beautiful story, right? They reboot that. The 2016 version of that is like, oh, hey, what if we, like, the beginning of the film, we kill the son. Pop. So all that stuff that she didn't mean anything. And now we've got a new savior. New savior's a girl, obviously. And that boy didn't matter. Screw him. Screw everything the woman went through, because, like, motherhood doesn't mean anything. Like, raising a human being to be a great human being, that doesn't mean anything. Anyway, that bombed. It was a glorious thing. Glorious thing that bombed. Boom. Nobody wanted it. They did a new version of Charlie's Angels that was just, like, similarly misanthropic and anti-human and creepy and cringe. Boom. Bomb. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Guess what? Any woman who's got men in her life that she likes, that's most women. They don't want this crap. They don't want this anti-human stuff. Like, we like each other as humans. We're out here. We're humans. We love each other, right? That's how we boldly march towards our destiny together, hand in hand to glory. We love each other, man. We work together. Like, we have complementary traits and we work together. And this weirdo move to try and sort of, I don't even want to talk about it. Why am I talking about it? Why I'm talking about it is because it's failing. It's falling apart. It's losing billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Gillette lost $6 billion after that cringy ad campaign last year that was all like, hey, boys, you're inherently evil. Wrestling, children wrestling, that's evil. What are you talking about? Get out of here. They lost $8 billion. Boom. Boom. In your face. Be gone. Exit. Taxi for whatever idiots thought that was a good idea. So, you know, they're gone. So that whole thing's gone. I've been saying this for a long time. I believe that it's peaking this year, this summer. All that stuff peaks. Then it rolls back. And it'll take a little while to course correct because, you know, it's these things. People commission stuff in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 before they saw the real world reaction to it. So a lot of stuff got commissioned. It's going to be coming out for a while. It's going to be bombing. But the course correction will begin again, and things are going in the other direction, and there'll be other things for people to bicker about. It's a beautiful day to be alive, man. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And most people know that. You know? Most people aren't stupid. Most people aren't myopic. Most people love their families. They love their sons, their sisters, their daughters, their mothers, their fathers, all that, and they're humans, and they recognize each other as humans, and they don't look at the world through this creepy lens of power and division and what you look like on the outside being the defining characteristic from which you cannot escape. Like, oh God, go away. And they are going away. It's a beautiful thing. But hey, this is why I'm talking about this. A big part of why that's falling apart is because of the work that the Peterson family did, because of the sacrifices they made, you know, from sort of 2015, 16, whatever it was. Great sacrifices. Awful, awful, awful people. The worst people in the world. The worst people in the world tried to destroy them, cackling, happy when they suffer. Hey, here's the thing. If you ever find yourself happy at someone else's suffering, that's a dangerous sign that you're a bad guy. That means you're a bad guy. Good guys don't do that. Superman never found joy in the suffering of anyone. He's a good guy. Do you know who found joy in the suffering of others? Every bad guy. That's how you know if you're a good guy. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. All right, so just pay attention. If say you've got, you know, some kind of enemy or adversary or whatever, and you find joy in their suffering, that's a warning sign that you are going down the wrong path. You know? Now, as I was saying, I find joy in the failure of these evil movies. I find no joy in anyone's suffering. I find joy in the failure of this poisonous ideology that seeks to destroy this species. Just as we're being born. Just as we're being born. Yeah. Anyway, what a week. And what else has been going on? Oh, I was on the Paradoxical Movements podcast. You can listen to that, and you should. We spoke for about an hour and a half about very, very deep stuff, mostly positive deep stuff and practical advice on how to realize your potential. which is what we're doing here. You know, we're trying to be the ultimate versions of ourselves in this lifetime. And why not? I believe we can. I don't see why not. We have the tools at our disposal. We have the opportunity, the hitherto unprecedented opportunity to reach that glorious potential in this lifetime. You know? Wow. I keep thinking, wow. So yeah, check out that podcast, Paradoxical Movements podcast. I'm on that. It's cool. The Lo-Fi Valentine playlist. We did that. I opened that up to submissions. That was very cool. I had like 100 submissions in like 24 hours from really talented lo-fi hip-hop producers who sent me their tracks, and we added a bunch of those to the playlist. That's the Lo-Fi Seasons playlist. It's on Spotify. I'm going to be putting it on Apple Music too as soon as I work out how. It's a bit trickier. I don't know why. It's a bit trickier. If anyone out there is an Apple Music playlist expert, hit me up. And hit me up. Help me. I'm really trying to put all the useful stuff in as many places as possible. And that's what I want to do. I want to be wherever you are, being as useful as possible. Now, what's the other thing? Oh, yeah. We updated the Patreon channels. We updated our Patreon channels. If you want to be a patron of The Wave and help us to grow and help us to produce more stuff, more art, more useful artwork at a higher quality and at a higher frequency, which is what we're trying to do. Anyone who's helping out over there, massively appreciate it. It's really helping. We restructured the rewards and stuff over there. We kind of simplified it and made it, we simplified it and made it kind of better. We listened to your feedback and gave you more of what you were asking for and stuff. So part of that is that now, if you are a patron of The Wave and paying $10 a month, you get all the music. All the music. You get downloads of all the music. So that's all the albums, all the singles, all the mixes. You know, we're doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing a mix every week. 1-2 albums every month. Multiple singles, all that. So the $10 level, you now get all the music, and that's very cool. What else you get? At the $5 level, you get downloads of the DJ mixes. You get access to all the live streams. We're now starting to live stream, and the recordings of those, you get access to those. At the $25 level, you get an exclusive playlist. No one else gets that playlist. You get that, and that's like what I do is every month I make a playlist. I put together a bunch of music on a certain theme, The one for this month will be coming out early next week, so you can look forward to that. On the $50 level, you get your name in the video credits of every full-length release, so people get to understand what a wavy individual you are and see how, the level of your support. And on the $100 level, which 2 people joined this week, and I'm very grateful to you, you get all that stuff, and I'll put you on the guest list at any show I do. And, you can hit me up and, stuff. I mean, you can hit me up. Anyone can hit me up. But, very, very grateful to you people. Very, very grateful. I mean, I had some disasters in the studio this week. A whole load of stuff broke, stopped working. I've got this, very temperamental computer that's just constantly on the fritz. That one, mainly if I switch it off and on again, just repeatedly throughout the day, it'll kind of keep going. It gets to a certain point, you just can't hack it anymore, then I have to start again, But the screen, yesterday I came in and the screen, it was just mashed. What had happened was, here's why smart homes are a bad idea. The screen had updated its software overnight without asking me, and that had caused it to change color. I was like, oh, great. Oh, my screen's blue. Oh, and now it's flickering, and now it's got hiccups, and it's jumping up and down. It wouldn't do anything. I spent 3 hours on the phone. Eventually, someone at Roku was like, yeah, we updated the software. No, we're not rolling it back. No. You're going to have to send the screen back to the manufacturer, and they can work it out. I was like, what? How long is that going to take? And they're like, it'll take 48 hours to send out a box. Then you've got to send it back, and that could wait 10 days and see what they say. And then they'll say, I'm like, I ain't got that time. I'm making multiple albums. I've got this Marcus Aurelius album. I've got to mix it. I can't mix it without a screen. How dare you? What? They were very awful. Very awful. But But thanks to the support of the Meaningwave community, I was able to go out and buy another screen this morning. Now I'm here working, which I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So thank you very much. I love you. I appreciate you. The whole wave appreciates you. The family appreciates you. You know, so bless the heck up. Now, what else? Oh, there was another thing that you get on the Patreon channels. Exclusively, on just from $5 level and above, you get access to behind the scenes videos. So I think we did 3 or 4 this week. I think it was 3. There's another one I've done, which we'll be uploading today. And you can watch me making the songs from scratch, which is pretty crazy. Like when I edit, and what happens is I'll come in the studio, I'll be here all day. And then on the way back at like 2 a.m, I edit together the footage from the day into a video. And I'm like, holy cow, I really did just sit there and just like make this thing just didn't exist. And now it exists and it's amazing. It's such a weird thing to observe from the outside, the birth of a thing. You know, I've been doing this Marcus Aurelius album. And what I'm doing is I'm working, I've got a couple of translations of meditations, and I'm turning those into songs, right? So I'm like, okay, here's a song, here's some words, and I'll read the words. And the one I did yesterday, I read the words and instantly one of the words sticks out a melody. So I just repeat it and then I build on that. And then next thing you know, it's like this amazing song that's giving me chills and making me cry a bit. It's like it always existed. You know, I just kind of pull it out of the air, out of the sky, out of the ether, out of whatever dimension that we can't see. It's like it's there and I pull it out. And those videos are really good. It's cool because you get to watch that happening, and it's quite a mystical sort of process. It's very interesting. You know, it's good to do that. I find it's good to try and to sort of zoom out. It's good to kind of create an out of body situation so you can look at things from another angle, because then you really get to see how magical life is and how magical the world is. When you're just in it and you're not really paying attention, when you're moving from task to task and item to item, and you know, you're in the thick of it, so to speak, you can miss what a magical adventure it is. It's really good to pull yourself out once in a while and just really appreciate that magical adventure that you are undertaking, because that's what's going on. You're on a magical adventure. You're on an epic quest. You're on a journey. All of us are. All of us. Every one of us. Even though it doesn't feel like that sometimes, that's what's going on. And you can see that if you kind of create an out-of-body type experience situation for yourself. And one way of doing that is to sort of film the day and then edit it at the end of it, and you go, holy crap, look at this. You know, but there's many ways of doing it. You know, I think people use meditation for that. Exercise will do that for you. You know, there's lots of ways of doing it. Anyway, I now need to return to the matter. Oh yeah, that was the other thing that happened yesterday. I forgot about that. My main hard drive that's got all my sample libraries and stuff on it decided it was suddenly going to die. Very luckily, I saw that it was dying, and I'm currently dragging everything off it onto another one. You know, what was it Al Swearingen said in Deadwood? Life is one failed task after another. That's true. It's also a beautiful, magical adventure at the same time. Both of these things are true. No light without shadow. It always comes back to that. You got to have both for whatever reason. That's the nature of our existence. That's the nature of the adventure. And I'm very grateful to be on this adventure with you guys. Hit me up if you need anything. You can find me on Twitter and stuff of that nature. You can support The Wave at Patreon and Subscribestar, Akira the Don. You can pre-order the Marcus Aurelius album on Bandcamp right now. You can listen to the new single on your streaming platform of choice right now. You can check out the interview I did this week on the Paradoxical Movements podcast right now. And you can listen to the Lo-Fi Valentine playlist right now. And, you know, you can also high five yourself because you're a bad man. Oh yeah, let's bring back the international high five. We'll start doing that. We'll do it. Let's end this with a high five wherever you are. High five whatever device it is you're listening on. Just high five the air, or high five a passerby, or whoever you're with. All right, let's all high five together. A 3, a 2, a 1, a splash. I felt that. I did. I felt it. I hope you felt it too. I'll speak to you next week. Thank you for being here. This is Akira the Don. It's a beautiful day to be alive right here at the peak of recorded human history with you.